Alright folks, doing something a little different today on the kayak, and I'm fishing for whatever bites, and I'm using a 1-inch Gulp Minnow. I actually need to slow down a little bit. I'm going a little faster than I'd like to be going. Ooh, got something there. There we go. Little bluegill. Nice thing I'll show you here, using this 1-inch Gulp Minnow, you can catch pretty much anything on those. Anything that, pretty much anything other than stuff that only eats plant stuff like shad, you can catch on a Gulp Minnow. So it's a fun little bait to, ooh, got something a little better here, I think. Ooh, little bass. There we go. I'm using an ultralight. Come on. There we go. Nice little bass. I gotta back up a little bit here. Not too bad, 2 casts and 2 fish. Might actually make this an unedited video. See a lot of people doing it. I've never really, ooh, almost got that one hung up. Done that before. But all I'm doing, I'm just jigging this thing along. It's a 1-ounce Gulp Minnow with a 1/64 ounce jig head on it. All I'm trying to do is just kind of bounce it along the bottom, bring it up a little bit, see what we get. Might not have helped things with the commotion I made over there. Let me try casting over towards this. But like I said, you can catch bluegill, crappie, bass, catfish, walleye. You can catch anything on a Gulp Minnow. Obviously I don't think there's any catfish or walleye in these. I know there's no walleye. I don't think there's any catfish in these little ponds either. Might go back over towards this outlet here a little bit. That's where I caught the other couple. There we go. So they can be a lot of fun because you never know for sure what you're going to catch on them. I'm just kind of letting it drop down towards the bottom. I don't know if I'm actually hitting bottom. I'm not sure how deep this is. I don't have a depth finder on here. But was planning on catfishing today, but I got an issue with the brakes on my trailer. They had to order parts in, and they weren't going to be in till Monday, so I don't have my boat right now. So I'd come out here. Weather's been kind of crappy anyway with rain and stuff, so I don't know how long. Ooh, had one hit it there. Let it go back down, see maybe if he'll come back for it. Nope. I'm getting a little bit of a mess on my reel. There we go. Get it straightened out there. Been fooling around with the mounts here on this thing a little bit. Trying to find the best place to put the camera. I got it moved way up front now. Last trip I didn't actually make a video because it didn't turn out too good. I didn't have the microphone. I had the camera behind me and it really didn't work out well at all. I'm gonna start making my way along here, I think. Ooh, one hit it there. Something's hitting it. Probably bluegill. I'll start moving my way up along. At least the wind's not blowing today. My son's actually fly fishing over there, Colton. I haven't heard him holler or anything, so I don't figure he's caught anything. He's too far away from me anyway. But we went turkey hunting yesterday. That didn't work out too well. I had birds patterned. They're right there by the house. Every morning they're in the field. Gobbler with some hens. They were hanging out all the time. I didn't see them the day before season. I didn't see them in there and I was worried, and sure enough, we only heard a few distant gobbles. We ended up calling a hen in, but she didn't have any gobblers with her, and we ended up not doing any good. We sat there all morning. Probably shouldn't have, but I really thought those turkeys been hanging out a lot in that field. Really expected them to come in there at some point. There'll be bass sitting right over in that. Ooh, something hit it. There we go. Ooh. I actually re-spooled my lines last night on this ultralight. I'll show him off to the camera. There he is. I re-spooled my line last night. I put on 4-pound test. I was using braid on these before. I was using, something hit it there. I was using braid. I think it was like 8-pound braid. I switched, put 4-pound mono on. The braid was getting pretty bad. So I wanted to get something fresh on there and decided to go back to mono. Ultralight, that your line kind of wears out quick anyway. Try up this way. Ooh, I'd say that's a bass. That might be a little better bass. He's putting a little bend in the rod. No, bluegill. Surprised me. The way he hit that, well, that's a decent bluegill for this pond. There he is. I'm not keeping anything. Hook myself. I'm not keeping anything today. I still have the one I didn't end up making a video of because the footage wasn't too good. I kept those bluegill, so I've got them in the live tank at home, ready for the next trip. I don't like to get too many ahead. So, and actually next weekend, I don't know if I'll fish next weekend or not, so probably just not keep anything for a while. I might fish some this week, depending upon the weather and what's going on. Gets tough this time of year with mowing grass and stuff sometimes in the evening. Got a bunch of moss or something. I'm not sure what color I got here, the Gulp Minnow. There's a ton of colors you can get. But I am using a pink jig head. There we go. I need to go. Had a lot of rain last night and stuff. A little bit worried this was going to be muddy. This pond, there's actually another pond up above this. That probably helps keep this one from getting so muddy. Actually, part of the trouble is, you probably can't see it on the camera, but it's actually pretty clear. This ground's all been strip mined. A lot of this stuff is, I don't know what the heck kind of algae it is that grows in there, but it can be pretty nasty. It gets some weird colors. Probably not a pond you want to eat fish from anyway. Oop. Got that one a little too far. Got lucky though, it came out. But these little fish though, you get on an ultralight like that. Ooh, there's a bluegill following it. The ultralight though, like I said, it can be a lot of fun. Even with these smaller fish. This 4-pound line, you can't horse them around. You gotta let them play out a little bit, and it puts a decent bend in the rod. I'm probably just gonna make my way up along this edge. Kind of nice, wind's not blowing. I should be able just to kind of drift along here. There's some nice chunks of wood and stuff over there. Should hold a bass, you would think. Or a nice bluegill. Doesn't really matter to me. Get my net ready in case I need it. There is a couple good-sized bass in here I've seen before. As long as nobody's taking them out of here. Really like to get catfishing. It's getting into the best time of the year for the catfish. You get into May, beginning part of June, before the spawn gets on. It can be a whole lot of fun. Get some of this. crap off of that thing. Not been getting as many bites up in this shallower water. Maybe that rain's pushed them back deep. Ooh, there we go. There was a bite. Might be fishing that thing a little too fast. So far I am liking this kayak though. Pretty easy to throw it in the truck and go, which is what I was looking for. Ooh. Had one there. Try fishing this thing a little slower. See if that helps. That 1/64 ounce, that thing doesn't fall real fast through the water column. It kind of flutters down, kind of slow, which always seems to be good. I like the 1/64 ounce better than the 1/8. The 1/8 seems to fall too fast. You get more of a natural movement with the 1/64 ounce. Push that back up a little bit. I'm going to go up here a little farther. If I don't start doing any better, I'm going to go back down towards the dam where it's probably a little deeper. See if I was getting more bites. Had one there. He come off though. I got something booted up. There we go. Ooh. Had one hit it, almost pulled it off. One thing I don't like about these Gulp minnows, they're not the most hardy thing on the hook. But still better than using like mealworms or something, because you can usually catch quite a few fish off of one before you have to replace it. Ooh. Got something on here. Ooh, little bass. Something. There we go. Reels. Yeah. Not as good as the other bass I caught, but there we go. Get your time on the camera. See if I can rehook this thing. There we go. Turn myself around a little bit here. Ooh. I got a mess. Made a mess. Ooh. Figures. Made a mess and caught a fish. There he is. Still got some line I gotta cast this thing for. One thing I hate about mono, you get like that memory in that line. I didn't really stretch it last night either. Get back over towards the shore here a little bit. Monster bluegill. I'm surprised that thing got the hook in his mouth. He's not much bigger than the minnow. There he is. I was about ready to turn around, but now I'm starting to catch more fish, so guess I'll keep going up along here. One messing with it there. These rod holders on here, I don't care for the ultralight rod. It would work great for a bigger rod, but they're kind of the rod just barely fits down into the bottom. I don't care for that because I'm going to lose it sooner or later. I actually need to maybe put something around the darn goose. Interrupted my talk. Might need to actually put like a gum band or something around here, big gum band or piece of rubber or something. Could actually turn that thing. Maybe I'll try that. That might actually work better. Just leave that thing. That thing's actually made you put the rod in and then twist it over. Bad thing about doing one of these uncut videos is you run out of things to talk about, I guess. Good part is you don't have near the editing. That's the one thing. One thing that's kind of surprising when you start doing this is how long the editing takes you. It takes you way longer than the actual fishing usually, especially if you're catching a lot of fish. Although with the 360 camera, I'm still going to have to edit because I got to change the view. I'm going to turn myself here a little bit. I think you can go back down. It's starting to rain a little bit. Go back down. I might go along the face of the dam. You catch anything? Not yet. Okay. He's been skunked. He wouldn't listen to me. Although I see his fly rods. I don't know if he's using the fly rod now or not. I told him to fish with the worm. He's fishing from the bank. He has one of those inflatable kayaks. But he didn't bring it. He just said he was going to fish from the shore. So I think we'll go back down, fish this edge back down towards the bank, or towards the dam, see what happens. It does seem like we were getting more bites down in that deeper water. What time is it, Colton? Huh? Okay. Let me know when it's like 10 after 11 or so. Ooh. Geese are going again. There we go. There we go. Ooh, that one's pulling a little drag. Guessing this is a bass. Ooh my, he's actually pulling the kayak around. I might need the net on him. Probably be a little bluegill, you watch. Darn thing's staying down, that's kind of odd. That's a bass. Whew. That's nice. Hook popped out right after I've added him. Not a huge bass, but for this little pond, that's a nice one. Not real long, but he's pretty heavy. We'll let him go. That was a fun little fight on that ultralight. Hopefully the camera hasn't got too much rain on it, because it is raining a little bit. But I'm not real stable in this kayak, so I can't get up there to clean it off, and it's still raining anyway. So the footage stinks. I apologize, but it is what it is. Nice thing on this kayak, really not too much to worry about them. There's no motor or nothing, so you don't have to worry about them getting into the motor. Hopefully my, ooh, Something hitting it there. You fishing with the worm now?
Yeah.
You ought to come over, Colton, and try over towards this, where the outlet is.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
It seems like they're in a little deeper water. During rain. It really rained hard last night. One thing too, start videoing yourself. You realize all the stupid things you say, or all the goofy stuff you do, you don't even realize. I know I'm bad. I'll start talking about something and then not finish my sentence. My wife and kids always complained about that, but I always told them they were wrong. Turns out maybe they were right in that regard. Let that sit there for a minute. Casting out in a little deeper water here. Let that thing just fall down for a minute, and then kind of bring it along the bottom. I was here the other day, of course the sun was out. That might have been part of the reason why it might have warmed up that water. I was catching them more up in the shallow water. Today it seems like they're just a little bit deeper. Funny how much things change from day to day. Bring that across this shallow stuff in case there's one. Without a depth finder, I have no idea how deep a water, although I don't think this thing's overly deep. I would guess it might be 12, 15 feet or something in the deepest parts. Kid doesn't listen to me. Tell him to move over there. Starting to rain a little better. This is pretty shallow over where I'm fishing now, I think. And now he's listening to me. I see him moving over. Not gonna fish too long because Loretta's gonna make some breakfast. She's at church right now. Ooh! Oh, I'm hung. That's not a fish. Hopefully I can pull that thing out. I think I see it. There's a limb right there. Get on the other side of it here. Hopefully it'll pop out of there. There we go. Made a little bit of a mess of my line. There we go. Nice thing about being out on a boat or a kayak, you don't lose as many lures unless you throw them into the shore. Get them stuck in a tree or something, then it can be tough. Probably not going to fish too much longer. Getting any bites?
I had one over there, but that was it.
Should hopefully get some. I had several bites here. Ooh, right there's a good bass. Just went swimming. He was headed your way. He was swimming along the edge right here. He wasn't huge, but I think he was probably 12 or 14 inch or something. Which isn't a bad bass for here. Cast over here. I think right by that tree would be a good spot for one to be sitting in. Hopefully this footage is turning out all right with this rain. There we go. Bass or bluegill? I think that's bluegill. Yep. Pretty little bluegill. They'll start breeding here soon too. Try on that side of the tree. Big snapping turtles in here too. There's a guy. I don't think he has a channel. He actually films it though. I think he said for himself. He usually sets some traps over there every year for them. Those darn things, especially when you're fishing from shore, they'll sometimes try to grab your bluegill when you're bringing it in. Catch one? I thought you had one on there. Ah, okay. Getting close to the outlet here. Actually gets to be a little bit of current. Pulling the kayak over that way. Bite's kind of slowed down here. What time's it getting now, Colton? Okay. I figure about 10 after I'm gonna reel in. That'll put us back home by noon. Your mom said she was planning on having like breakfast or lunch or whatever you want to call it ready by then. Ooh. There we go. I think that's a bluegill. Nice bluegill. There he is. There he goes. There we go. I can feel you can feel them bluegill like tapping it. Come on. Try to rehook this thing one more time. It's getting pretty tore up. But we're not fishing too much longer. I'll go over here in front of Colton. Try to catch a big bass in front of him. Seems like they're in a little deeper water today. Oh, he got one. That's a pretty decent bass for in here. I'm probably close enough. Hang on 1 second, Colton. Let me come over, we'll get it. That way they can at least see you can catch a fish. Ooh. Log there, I gotta go around. Hold him up, like in front of your shirt there. Yeah, not too bad. At least you got one on camera anyway. Ooh, something hit it there. He's fishing with a regular plastic worm. So he ain't gonna catch bluegill on it. Ooh! Something hit it right there. Ooh, come on, come back for it. You know you want it. There we go. Ah. Drop it back down. There's, I don't know if it's bluegill or bass. He's coming back for it. He's hitting it. Come on. Probably a bluegill messing with it. He's tapping it, but he's not getting the... Ooh. He dug up my Gulp Minnow messed up. He chewed the back end of it off. Son of a gun. I'm not going to change it because we're only fishing for another couple minutes here. Come on. Got one messing with it again. I don't know why my camera kicked on, but it did. Or the screen turned on. I just lost my Gulp Minnow. What time is it, Colton? 11:08. Okay. Well, folks, I am going to head to the shore. All in all, it was a nice morning. According to that, we didn't even fish for quite an hour because it's 56 minutes on the camera. It probably took me 6 or 7 minutes to get in. Colton's trying to throw and hit me here with this worm, but like I said, all in all, it was a pretty good morning. Caught few bass, caught several bluegill, so a lot of fun for not even an hour fishing. So anyway, I'm going to start paddling towards the shore here, and we will catch you next time.